Hello, I'm Alex Hui. In the last video, I talked about what diabetes is from a modern medicine perspective. So today I would like to talk about how traditional Chinese medicine, or TCM, views diabetes, what role can it play in today's world, and why do I think it is beneficial for diabetic patients to incorporate TCM into their healing journey. Before we get into the details, we have to first understand that TCM and modern medicine are two completely different medical systems. So their underlying philosophy is completely different. Therefore, their approaches to conceptualizing, diagnosing, and treating the disease are completely different as well. So in this video, I will be using some TCM terms, which I will try to briefly explain. But if you would like to learn more about the details of TCM foundations, feel free to read my series of blog articles on TCM basics, which I will put a link in the description below. TCM views the human body in a holistic way, which means that it does not only focus on specific parts of a body, but the connection of all parts of the body, and how the relationship with society and nature can affect our health. One fundamental theory of TCM is yin and yang. Yin and yang are two opposite forces. Yang refers to the active, warming, and promoting energy, while yin refers to the passive, cooling, and suppressing energy. So in order to be healthy, yin and yang energies in our body has to be in a dynamic balance. If that balance is disturbed, then diseases will occur. For diabetic patients, the main reason why they have diabetes is because of a yin and yang energy imbalance in their body, specifically a yin deficiency. Yin deficiency can be caused by various factors, which I will talk about later in this video. Yin energy is responsible for moistening and cooling of the body, and because it is deficient, the body can create internal heat and internal dryness, and which in turn it will lead to various symptoms such as dry mouth and thirst. So basically, diabetes in TCM is caused by yin deficiency plus internal dryness and heat. And there's actually a detailed mechanism of how the process works, but I will not talk about this in this video. Another important characteristic of TCM is pattern differentiation. Pattern differentiation means that within the same disease, there are different patterns according to different symptoms. So that's the reason why we have a different way of treatment methods. Let's take common cold for example. There are two most basic common cold patterns, which is wind cold and wind heat. Both patterns have symptoms such as headache, clogged nose, or runny nose, but there are also differences. Wind cold patterns have symptoms such as clear mucus, itchiness of throat, and body aches. Wind heat patterns have symptoms such as sore throat, yellow or green color mucus, and sweating. Although both patterns are common cold, TCM doctors would use different ways of treating, for example, different pressure points for acupuncture and different herbal medicine. They will use warming herbal medicine for treating wind cold and using cooling herbal medicine to treating wind heat. And if they do the opposite, it will make the patients worse. So pattern differentiation, although it is more complicated, but it is very tailor-made to specific individuals so that we're not giving one herbal medicine for all common cold patients. And if the diagnosis is correct, it can be very effective. In TCM, diabetes is broadly divided into three patterns: upper, middle, and lower. So let's examine them each one by one. The upper pattern is characterized by excessive thirst. The first is due to a yin deficiency and heat, which depletes the fluids in the body. Symptoms then include dry throat and excessive drinking due to thirst. People with this pattern are usually heavier in weight. This pattern is related to the TCM organ lung. And remember, the lung here in TCM is not the same as the lungs we mentioned in modern medicine. In modern medicine, the lung is an anatomical organ, while in TCM, the lung, or other organs which we'll talk about later, is more about the grouping of different internal parts of the body that work together to attain a particular physiological function. This pattern is still the earlier stages of diabetes, and the treatment method is to clear the heat, increase body fluid, and nourish the lung. The middle pattern can be characterized by excessive hunger due to excessive heat in the stomach. Although easily hungry and might be eating a lot, patients with this pattern starts to lose weight. This is due to the stomach heat that can burn up the body's reserves. So patients will also often lose strength. To treat this, we have to clear the stomach heat and nourish the yin and body fluids in the body. This is more serious than the upper pattern since it goes deeper into the body. The lower pattern can actually be divided into two types, but to be simple, I'm just going to group it. For this type of patient, there is excessive urination. In more serious cases, the yin deficiency would also impair yang, because yin and yang must be coexistent. Without up, there will be no down. Without left, there will be no right. And without yin, there will be no yang. This will result in both yin and yang deficiency, resulting in patients having back and knee aches, very dry ears, and even feeling cold all the time. And it is this case that various complications may arise. For this pattern, it is important to nourish the kidney yin and balance the overall yin and yang in the body. Of course, in real life, most cases are not one of the three patterns, because in the course of the illness, most people would manifest symptoms of three different patterns altogether. But learning the three patterns can give TCM doctors a reference as into what specific patterns the patient is leaning towards to, and what specific treatments that can be tailor-made for that specific patient. So according to TCM, what could have caused diabetes? Number 1, improper diet. By consuming large quantities of sweets, spicy, fatty, or greasy foods, and alcohol. By consuming too much of these foods, it can damage the spleen system, while the spleen system is responsible for the digestion and absorption of the body. And if that is damaged, it can cause stagnation in the body, which in turn leads to heat accumulation in the body that depletes the body fluids and yin, which at the end it causes yin deficiency. Number 2, prenatal body type. Some people have a yin deficient body type to begin with due to genetics or the lifestyle habits of the mother while she is bearing the child. Number 3, overwork physically or mentally. This can cause an over-depletion of yin energy. Too much thinking, too much physical or sexual activities can lead to overwork. Number 4, emotional disturbances. Stress, anxiety, depression can create qi stagnation inside our body, which causes heat accumulation that can deplete our yin energy. And this is a very important factor in today's society. Number 5, blood stagnation. Blood stagnation can cause heat, which in turn leads to the depletion of our yin energy. So how can TCM help diabetic patients in today's world? Well, first of all, we have to understand what is the goal of treatment, and there are three. Number 1, control the development of the disease. We want to make sure it doesn't get worse, and more importantly, the prevention of complications. And then we can think about reversing it for type 2 diabetes. Number 2, increase life expectancy. Time is one of the most valuable resources that allows us to live life to the fullest. And number 3, improve quality of life. Even if we live long, what good is it that we can't get out of bed or participate in our favorite hobby? We want to have a good quality of life so that we can spend quality time with our loved ones and ourselves. And with these three goals in mind, TCM can be very helpful. And when I mean TCM, it does not only mean one form of treatment, but it includes a combination of acupuncture, herbal treatments, exercises, and various forms of lifestyle awareness. So TCM can provide the following benefits. Number 1, control. Keep the blood sugar level within a normal range to prevent complications. Number 2, relieving the symptoms of various complications. Number 3, improve the condition of insulin resistance. This is due to the fact that herbal medicine and acupuncture can help to stimulate better function of the pancreas and increase insulin sensitivity. Number 4, change body type. The TCM way can help to change the body type from a more yin deficient to a relatively yin and yang balanced body type. Number 5, lessen side effects of medication. Often, long-term medication will cause some side effects, such as digestion problems or other problems. Taking TCM herbal medicine can help to lessen side effects. Number 6, suppress cravings for food and sugar. Number 7, reduce stress. As I mentioned earlier, stress is one of the most common causes that contributes to diabetes. Acupuncture or herbal medicine can help to smoothen the qi flow to prevent any qi stagnation caused by stress. Number 8, improve metabolism and enhance carbohydrates utilization. Number 9, slowly decrease the use of medication. And hopefully, eventually, there is no need to use medication, but by self-management and self-control to maintain blood glucose level. We have to know that both modern medicine and TCM have their own strengths and weaknesses. Modern medicine has a micro point of view, which is very great in terms of quickly controlling blood glucose level, while TCM has strengths in terms of regulating metabolism, improving symptoms, and assisting in decreasing the blood glucose level. So in my point of view, the best way to treat diabetes is to combine both modern medicine and TCM. So when should a diabetic patient start incorporating TCM into their treatments? Well, as soon as possible. For prediabetes or patients with borderline diabetes, they should incorporate TCM lifestyle as soon as possible and even see an acupuncturist or herbalist to start regulating their body to prevent the diabetes from further progressing. And for chronic patients, TCM has great advantage in terms of treating and preventing complications, which complications are very scary, and I will make a video specifically about it. And lastly, TCM can treat the root cause of the problem and rebalance the whole body. So now we have talked about what diabetes is from a modern medicine and TCM perspective. It is time for some applications. So in the next couple videos, I will be talking about more practical knowledge in terms of how to prevent and deal with diabetes, such as lifestyle habits, pressure point massages, and diets. So thank you for watching today. If you have any questions, leave in a comment section below. Stay healthy, and I will see you next time.